Before I start, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's supported my Kickstarter so far for my Japan travel guidebook. It's 100% fully funded in just under 24 hours. That means the book is definitely being printed, so if you've pledged, you'll definitely be getting a copy. And if you want one, there's still time to get on board. The Kickstarter's running until the 2nd of April. The link's in the description. Now, onto the video. Ooh, it's a rainy day. It can rain any time of year in Japan. That's just what the climate's like, so you need to be prepared for it. So today I'm going to tell you a few ideas for things you could do on a rainy day in Tokyo. As I said, it can rain at any time of year in Japan. You might not have very long on your trip, so don't waste a day just because it's raining. It's good to keep your plans flexible and have some ideas in mind for what to do if it's a rainy day. So here's some things to do in Tokyo and the rest of Japan. Then at the end, I've got some tips on how to make the best of it. First is Odaiba in Tokyo Bay. There's quite a few indoor things to do. TeamLab Borderless, the digital art museum, is the perfect place to just forget about the horrible weather outside and immerse yourself in another world. It's really unique. I'd recommend it to everyone. It's not really an art museum. It's interactive with projection mapping and music. It's beautiful and it's just fun to explore. It really is immersive. You do need to book tickets. It can sell out and the queues can get pretty long. I booked mine online on my phone the night before, but that was the off season, so at other times of year you might need to book earlier. You can check availability on their website. Next is the Science Museum Miraikan, which might not sound that appealing, but I really enjoyed it. It's got lots of robots and it's really modern. And there's several other museums and attractions on Odaiba too. All the details are in my Things to Do in Odaiba video. Once you're done with them, spend the rest of your day looking around the shops, where there's lots of restaurants too. There's several big shopping malls in Odaiba that are perfect for a rainy day. This one's Venus Fort. The bottom floor, Venus Family, is all for families and kids. Venus Grand in the middle is themed like a classical Roman shopping arcade, and the top one is designer outlets. There's several other shopping malls here on Odaiba as well. There's Aqua City Odaiba, Dex Tokyo Beach and Diver City. That's where the big Gundam is. They're all within walking distance, but you will need your umbrella. If you only pick one, I'd recommend Venus Fort because it's the most unusual. Having said all this, Odaiba is also lovely on a sunny day, especially the seaside park. There's beautiful views of Tokyo Bay and it's one of my favourite spots to just sit and enjoy the view. Next is Nakano Broadway. It's a shopping mall with all sorts of figures, models, toys and collectibles. There's gachapon, there's a cosplay shop, there's manga and all sorts of anime merch. The prices are a little bit cheaper than Akihabara and it's only about 5 minutes from Shinjuku on the train. Once you get to Nakano Station, go out the north exit, dash across this square and you're inside. First you go through the Sun Mall, which is kind of an everyday covered shopping street, which has some great food options. There's cheap sushi bars, delicious curry pan and an excellent bakery. Then you get to Nakano Broadway itself. There's several floors and plenty to keep you occupied for a whole afternoon. Oh, and don't miss the basement level. There's cheap sushi and bento boxes, and it's also where you get that famous rainbow ice cream. Sunshine City is a huge shopping mall in Ikebukuro. Lots of people go for the Pokemon Center, which is basically just a big shop with all the Pokemon merch you can think of, and it's also got a takeaway cafe with really cute cupcakes. There's also an aquarium, a planetarium, an observation deck with VR attractions called the Sky Circus, and Mazzaria, which is a kind of VR arcade with VR Mario Kart and Pac-Man and terrifying experiences like walking on a plank 200 meters high in the air to rescue a kitten. There's also Namco Namja Town, which is an indoor theme park mainly aimed at kids. Next, if you like aquariums, there are several in Tokyo and they're popular around the rest of Japan too. I've been to the one at Sunshine City and they also have them at the Sky Tree and Shinagawa. Next is Akihabara, where you can go in the games arcades and the shops. I wouldn't say it's the best choice for a rainy day because you'll constantly be going out onto the street as you pop between them, but if the only time you have to go there is a rainy day, it's not going to spoil it too much. Next, museums and art galleries are always a good place to spend a few hours indoors. There's lots of them, I won't go through them all, really it depends what you're interested in. There's lots of museums in Ueno Park and there's several art galleries in Roppongi. They call it the Art Triangle with 3 major galleries. There's several shopping malls there too, Tokyo Midtown and Roppongi Hills. They're kind of upmarket and more classy than the malls in Odaiba and Ikebukuro, which I think are a bit more fun. Next, temples and shrines. Now these aren't an obvious choice because they're mainly outside, but popular temples might be less crowded in the rain. It rained a bit while I was in Kyoto and there's a chance these places would have been even more crowded on a sunny day. Now it wasn't heavy rain by any means, but looking back it didn't spoil it at all. I just dripped from my head. The humidity did make my hair a bit crazy though. Some people even say that temples, shrines and gardens are more beautiful in the rain because the colours are more intense. And you can get picturesque photos of the streets of Tokyo at night with all the neon lights reflected on the ground. If you like shopping, there are lots of department stores with multiple floors. They're often attached to major stations, so you don't have to go outside. There's also huge shops like Tokyo Hands and Yodobashi Camera. Both of them sell basically everything you can think of. If you find yourself passing through Tokyo Station, Character Street is all underground. It's a collection of shops with cute character merch like Sumika Garashi and Sanrio characters. And there's Ramen Street just next door for when you get hungry, which is basically just a row of ramen restaurants. Finally, if you don't mind braving the rain, Tokyo Disney is less busy on rainy days. It's known for having quite long queues at times, but it's a lot quieter in the rain, so you can get around everything in a shorter time. Finally, some tips. Be prepared and make sure you have waterproof shoes with you. There's nothing more miserable than walking around with wet feet. If it does rain, you can always get an umbrella from the convenience store. I just bought mine from the 7-Eleven. It was about 500 yen. And you get these clear plastic umbrellas that you see everybody has. They're not that strong, but they do the job and they last longer than you think. Some hotels let you borrow umbrellas too. You can tell how often it rains in Japan by how many umbrella stands there are. And some other inventions too. Lots of shops and places have bags for your umbrellas at the entrance, so you don't drip on that. Here they've got a fancy umbrella dryer. She said we can't take our umbrella in, we have to leave it over here. And there's little combination locks for each umbrella. Locked. No one's stealing my umbrella.
Is that worth it for a 500 yen umbrella we bought this morning?
Major stations in Japan are huge, and it's surprising how far you can walk without having to go outside. Just follow the signs and you can get to underground streets of shops and restaurants. It really is like a whole nother city underground. Sometimes you can get to shopping malls and department stores without going outside. So don't let the rain ruin your trip. And remember, it might not rain all day long. Japan isn't like some countries where there's a pattern to the weather. It can be just light rain and it might only last a short time. If you pop into a cafe or go and have something to eat, you might find it stopped by the time you come out. If you have any other ideas, put them in the comments. And if you want a copy of my Japan travel guidebook, the Kickstarter is running until the 2nd of April. I'll be back next week with more videos about Japan. I'll see you on Thursday.